All right,
Okay.
guys, so it's iBlue back with a brand new video, and today we're doing something a bit different. We do this weekly. This is the MineCast, episode 3. We first had the legendary Lime, and then we had Vloop, and then now we have Plastic Scot. So, again, our guest today is a magnificent YouTube content creator, along with his amazing live stream and being a great addition to the Scoutcraft server. It's a fact that he has actually made a plastic. We have Plastic Scot here today.
It is good to be here. Thank you so much for having me on. I honestly, as soon as I watched the one with Leap, I was like, I have to get on this. It's such an original idea. I've never, like you say, I've never seen a kind of like a Minecraft forum in which you actually really get to know the people who are in it on another level. So props to you for coming up with that, man. Honestly.
I appreciate that so much. Like that was number one, was that I genuinely like the usually when ideas come to people of people that are just creative, it's usually just out of nowhere, and that's exactly what it was. I was searching and I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I can't find anything about Mumbo or Green or Fwhip or
Yeah.
whoever, and I said, you know what? I'm
Sure.
just gonna start it. I'll be the podcast guy.
I've honestly, man, I've got to say, like after I watched that podcast with Loop, who's obviously an amazing YouTuber, you guys should check out the previous podcast because it was brilliant.
Mm.
But after I saw that podcast, I was like, I have to get myself on here because I appreciate that what you've done here is you've really come up with an original idea that I haven't seen anyone else do. And one of the reasons I was so keen to get on quickly is I think, you know, if you were to continue doing this and you were to continue doing it with the quality that you've got, and obviously you're a very natural and fluid and confident commentator and speaker, and I think it's got a real kind of appeal to it. So I was like, I need to get in here early
I appreciate it. That's
whilst,
really nice,
whilst
man.
it's just starting.
No, that's awesome. I want to have you on too because of the exact same reasons. Like your videos, like I find that I'm with a lot of Minecraft YouTubers, you really get into the gameplay, and yours is gameplay
Yeah,
and entertainment, and it's great. It's wonderful.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah. Well,
notice outside, it's actually great. So last time I stopped, I falsed the day cycle. So now there's actually a
right.
day cycle, and it can be nighttime, and it's gonna circle through.
Oh,
It's
I
gonna be
like
sick.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna
No,
be
I like
sick.
that. Will the sun rise from like? Do you have it lined
Yeah,
up with the
I
sun?
have it lined
Is
up
that?
exactly. Yes.
Oh, good. I was gonna say because that would have been if it was just off to the side. I'd be like, oh. But what I have done, you'll notice here, is I've brought the Scottish weather with me.
Yes, as you can see, yes. I can say some days it's like that in Canada too, so I completely agree. Yeah.
I must admit, I completely assumed you were American. I apologize. I know
Wow.
that Canadians hate that.
Oh, no,
I'm
no, no.
so sorry.
All good. I am perfectly fine with being either. I'm cool with whatever, but yeah, I am Canadian, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a similar kind of divide. You're the northern part of the more powerful country, and obviously
Mhm.
Scotland's the northern bit of or not northern bit, but north of England, which is the more powerful one. So we're also the underdogs. So
Oh, yes. We
uh,
are all underdogs, I agree.
yeah, we've got that in common at the very least.
For sure. So how's everything? How are you doing lately?
Yeah, good man. To be honest, keeping really busy. YouTube for me is something that I'm like incredibly passionate about, and I really love doing.
Mm.
But it's basically a second. So I've already got a full time job, but this is effectively an additional full time job on top of
Mm.
it. So I must admit, sleep has been a little bit of an issue for me. Oh my god!
Oh my
Oh,
Yo,
that really got me.
how do you
That really got me. I don't know why.
Yo, security, security. We need security.
He's got a break in.
Okay, yo.
One of your podcast fans
Uh,
has broken in.
All right, I'll fix this real quick. All right, yeah, I don't know what just
So
happened, but like, that was great. That was great. So
yeah, well, what you guys didn't see off camera right there. So just to give you a little background there, I believe just murdered that villager so that we could continue the podcast.
there
So
is
you
no,
guys aren't going to see that, but
there is no proof. There is absolutely no proof.
I
I
wish I
don't
was
have a
recording.
sword.
Yeah, look at that. Throws away the evidence.
So okay, transitioning and segueing to like something that's a legitimate question, I guess. So where did you one thing that I want to know with every single one of the guests, I want to start with, where did you start with gaming? And then I'll get into the content creation side. When did you start with gaming?
When did I start with gaming? Wow, it's a big question. You know, it's difficult to answer. I guess with my I'm 23, so I'm of the generation where like my childhood was still, for the most part, was still outdoors playing like manhunt and hide and seek and tag and all this kind of thing. But
Mm,
as I started to grow up, the things like the PS2 in particular
mm.
became quite a big game, and so things like Star Wars Battlefront 2 really caught my imagination. That was an incredible game. So that was probably one of the first games that I really started to get into. But also things like Minecraft. During the beta, I actually got Minecraft,
Whoa, yeah.
and yeah. Well, here's my problem, man. Is this is what I'll tell you? Is that like I played Minecraft during the beta, and then I didn't play it for like 7 or 8 years, and I've
Mhm.
only just started playing it again. And honestly, it's like learning a new game. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh my, I completely agree. And that's really cool. I'm 24, so I'm in the same era as you, which is great. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I feel that with Minecraft too. When it first came out, I played because my cousin showed me it. And I was really young. I was like, I'd say 13. And dude, the difference and like the reason that I want to do Minecraft creation, content creation, is
Yeah.
because like of the difference in the last 10 years. Because it's always changing.
Yeah, but the thing is like Minecraft. One of the reasons why I think that Minecraft in particular has survived so long is because it's a heavily mechanics-driven game. Like, I mean, look around us right here. No, you're not playing this for the high-end graphics, are you?
No,
Like,
exactly.
you're definitely not. But they just nailed the kind of the essence of a kind of a crafting adventure kind of experience where you can do your own thing. Like if this game had a one set objective, right? For example, you had to do X and then you're finished. Then
Hmm.
the game would die off and it'd be boring and it wouldn't have lasted all this time. But it's because of the creativity element of it that it's always been something that's been interesting to me. And so there's only a few games for me. So to come back to your question, to answer your question about gaming and the bigger picture, I think things like Minecraft and World of Tanks, things that tap into things that I am personally interested in terms of things like well, I'm a designer, so creativity and then even just history and tanks and this kind of thing. These are the things that I really kind of enjoy doing, and so that's why I still place blocks 10 years after I first placed my first block.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's exactly the same thing with me, man. Completely agree. Yeah, I'm so PS2. You played PS2, did you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
What
yeah,
was
yeah,
your
yeah.
what was your go to with PS2?
Oh, PS2, man. There was a bunch of the one that really stands out for me. The one that stands out is probably like my favorite PlayStation 2 game if I had to pick one. Oh, actually, there's a couple. Star Wars Battlefront 2
Mm.
was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. I loved like the hero mode, and also you could like level up your rifles and get like special purple bullets and stuff. And then also things like Need for Speed Underground 2 and Need
Yeah.
for Speed Carbon and Most Wanted. This kind of thing was
Yeah.
honestly, these are simpler times. I'm totally going full nostalgia, man. I apologize.
Oh no, I Need for Speed Underground, the tracks on that and like the cars and
Yeah,
oh, it's so good.
I still listen to them. I
Yeah.
still have a playlist of Need for Speed songs.
So good. Bum 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 ba-na-na-na-na-na. That
There was,
song is
what was it?
sick, bro.
There's so many good ones. It's like
Yeah,
Rage Against the
absolutely.
Machine and stuff like that. Honestly, like those games were. And the thing is, they were simpler back then, but they were more. The thing that I used to like about games like that is that they weren't just like super easy. Like sometimes you came across a mission that was actually just like so hard that you could barely complete it. Like,
Exactly.
but nowadays everything's just so dumbed down so that
Mm.
everyone can complete it. And there's no grind or reward.
Yeah.
So yeah, but those are my favorites.
Oh, I feel you. Yeah, it definitely holds your hand for sure. Like all games now hold your hand. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
completely
no, I
agree.
totally agree. I totally agree. It kills off a little bit of the. I mean, this is my opinion on Minecraft. So to bring it back to Minecraft, like one of the things that's fun about Minecraft is the grind and being able to grind for diamonds and armor and enchants and stuff like that because you earn it. It gives you a sense of satisfaction. When somebody comes onto a server and they just literally just X-ray and away they go and then they've got something like that within 20 minutes. It's
Hmm.
like how's that fun? Like, how do you maintain the enjoyment on that? So yeah,
Exactly.
I love the grind. The grind's important.
I completely agree. And the fact that you have like a different version of the survival Minecraft in hardcore and such, like it's just there's so many elements to it that's why it's still around and that's why things evolved in gaming, but like Minecraft evolves with it. It's really interesting.
No, I completely agree. I think Minecraft is there's few games that have really hit the nail on the head for longevity, and it's the like you say, it's the creativity, it's the crafting, it's the adventure, the survival. It's very diverse, and like it's got something for everyone. So, like you were talking about earlier, you're looking at Green and Mumbo, two of the biggest Minecraft YouTubers out there, and actually two guys in particular that I really like, I really respect, and I actually, to some extent, aspire to in terms of the kind of content that I want to produce. But these guys are vastly different. One person is a super like gorgeous. Let's be honest, almost like architectural design. Like some of the things
Mm,
that he creates are absolutely fantastic. And then you've got a proper nerd like Mumbo who's doing all these complex redstone contraptions with
yeah.
binary redstone. It's like it's incredible what you can do in this game, and I think that's why it's so I don't know, long lasting. Let's say.
Oh yes, I completely. And the reason I did want to have you on is because I know you know a lot of the Hermitcraft guys, just because you are doing your branding of
Yeah,
Scoutcraft is a small YouTuber Hermitcraft. So like, which honestly we'll get into Scoutcraft, but I don't think does it justice. I think it is much more than just a small YouTube Hermitcraft. I think you guys are doing an
yeah. Here
amazing
we go.
job. Like a completely, I love it.
No, I
But
appreciate
we'll
that.
get into that later. So um
Sure, of course.
going back to the nostalgia trip and trying to work through your life. So you started gaming back when you were younger and you played PS2 and whatever. You played all the way through. When did it
Yeah.
hit? Because I know around 11 or 12 it hit for me that I was like, wow, people make videos. I kind of want to do that myself. And it wasn't even like the YouTube era. When did it hit for you?
That is that's actually interesting. I've had about 5 or 6 different YouTube channels now,
Me too.
until I finally got this one that is actually, it's gaining, it's quite exciting. It's gaining traction and is growing very, very rapidly. And
Hmm.
and so for me, like you say, it's always been an appeal. Now I have a vivid memory that I've actually been thinking about recently. I've got 3 brothers, and I remember playing Rome Total War on my computer in my room. And this was when I was about 12 years old. And I got a little headset on, and I was producing possibly the worst content YouTube had ever seen. I literally just like let it play, and I like let them fight. And I was like, and I'd literally just be like, and now they're gonna fight, and then like I would just go silent for
Yeah.
like ages. And I was so scared because my little brother was outside my room, and he was like walking past the door, calling me an idiot and laughing at me and all this kind of stuff. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it discouraged me, and so I didn't come back until I was maybe about 15. And so to answer your question here is like the reason why I think this YouTube channel is working is because all of the others have failed so dramatically,
Mm.
and I learned from them. So my very first one, way back in the day, I was just far too young. I didn't really understand what was quality, what people wanted to see. I was young, I was immature. I had no idea what was going on. My second one, when I was about 15, um, to edit like 6 or 7 people's different perspectives in, and I arranged and I edited everything, and I was trying to coordinate this big team, and it failed because obviously you can't rely on everyone else, and one person doing all the work. It's a big commitment, and so from that I learned that you've got to be able to a base level trust yourself, and that well, no matter what else happens, you're going to be able to do the work, and you're going to have the drive and the motivation to get the job done. And so you don't want to be in a position where you're having to rely on other people.
Mm.
And then my next YouTube channel, I did, and we really focused on quality, where we got 2 perspectives on quality, and it was really like high quality for what we were doing. This was actually just a couple of years ago,
Mm.
and the problem was, again, is the workload was not balanced. One person, while I was doing a lot more of the work,
Mm.
and then it unintentionally becomes a little bit more bitter than you'd maybe like it to be.
Yeah.
And so I moved away from that to a point where I was like, right, actually, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this on my own. And I'm glancing on over some of the other things I learned along the way. But ultimately, to answer your question, there's always been, I don't know, something that's really been particularly appealing to me about being like an entertainer. As you're, I'm sure, noticing now, I Blue, I've got a big mouth on me.
Hey, listen, I
And,
think we all have to have a bit of that. Oh yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I really enjoy doing YouTube and making videos, and I'm constantly thinking of little ideas about like time capsule videos and all this kind of stuff where, in 50 years time, what am I going to look back on? I want to be able to look back on, oh, look at that sunrise. I want to
I'm
look back on
telling
this
you. Yeah,
sunrise
I'm
on this
telling you, bro.
podcast
Yeah, yeah.
before you've got 10 million subscribers. I'm here
Oh
for
yeah.
podcast number 3.
I appreciate that, man. No, I'm glad. I'm glad. I love the reason that I'm so excited about these podcasts because one, it's people that I'm interested in. That's the only people I'm gonna have in is that I'm like really, or the audience is extremely interested in. But like, I get to learn
Sure.
more about the person. Now I know that you relate to me in the YouTube way because I had like gaming channel, I had a vlogging channel, another gaming channel. I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
like Fallout and like Stardew Valley before this, and I privated them all and went fully Minecraft. So like I understand you fully, man. I completely understand. That's awesome. Oh, look, a spider.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. What are you doing there?
He
Oh
walked in on
no.
the pod. It's a fan.
Yeah,
The
that's a
fan's got
fan.
in on the
Yeah.
little one.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you don't kill this one off camera.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But no, I totally agree with you, man. It's first, I can't really answer the question as to why I've always kind of had that, the desire to do that. But other than the fact that it's been there, do you know, like I see the sword come out, and so he's going for the kill. I'll watch this. I'll watch this through the camera. I'll shield the cat. You don't want this. Oh no, it's about to happen. The podcast is turned into a
It's
18
turned
plus.
dark.
Yeah, it's getting dark.
No, I completely agree with you,
Hold on, let
man.
me. Yeah, there we go. There
Yeah,
we go.
no, I
Okay.
completely agree with you, man, for sure, like entirely. And like I find with everybody that I talk to that's a small creator or like someone that is growing or has having success have come from a place of failure. And everybody that's successful, wildly successful, like you would talk to Green or Mumbo or whoever, it
Mm.
usually is a trial and error until something sticks. And that, I think that's what's happened for both of us here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that's again one of the reasons why I was so keen to get on this because and again to publicize it and to give you some some exposure in particular as well because it's really really difficult. I know exactly what it's like from the multiple tries to when you're right at the very like that first 100 subscribers is so difficult because the way that the YouTube algorithm is set up because YouTube ultimately at the end of the day is a money making business. Now if they can encourage or get people to subscribe to these producing high quality content, then they're going to be coming back time and time and time again, watching more, and they're going to be watching more ads and more sponsorships, all that kind of stuff. So that's the model. And so it's not in YouTube's best interest to take a risk on small YouTubers like us. So when I see someone like yourself, and I see the quality that you're actually putting into your videos, the quality in your videos and in this podcast far outweighs the exposure that you actually get. And so I absolutely, regardless of if I grow big or if I don't grow big, regardless of anything like that, I always want to take a moment to shine a light on this area of YouTube that the majority of the rest of the world wouldn't get to see if it wasn't for us working together on this kind of thing.
Oh, exactly, and I think something that's been lost, and I appreciate the compliment, by the way, and I think the exact same of you and most of the Scoutcraft, if not all the Scoutcraft members. I haven't watched them all, but I've watched a majority. So I
Sure.
completely agree, and I think something that I said on the last podcast that's been lost really badly, besides the Hermitcraft and like SMP, like Legacy SMP and X Life and stuff like that, like besides like a cumulative like 10, 15 people servers, the collaboration has been lost in Minecraft, and it's really unfortunate. So I think podcast was due. I think it was due.
Yeah, absolutely, and I totally agree. I watched your last podcast the whole way through. I really really enjoyed it. In fact, I actually watched it whilst I was listened to it rather whilst I was building on the Scoutcraft server. But
Nice.
your point, I believe, on that is that if you look at for me actually, I the one YouTube channel I still watched, I started watching when I was a kid, was the Yogscast, and for me something like the Shadow of Israfel and that kind of thing really captivated my yeah, it drew me in, and those storytelling collaborations and like the race for wool and the spleefing and all this kind of stuff. You're absolutely right, you don't really see that kind of stuff as much as I think that's the kind of your point that you were making on the
Mm-hmm.
last
No,
podcast.
I agree. Yeah, and that's the exact point I'm making now, which is, it's just it's nice to see that there's still someone out there as a small creator that wants to have a Scoutcraft environment, and like that for me, like as you can see, I can do perfectly fine, have quality, and do my own thing, but like I strive with a community environment, and Scoutcraft is awesome. So let's talk about Scoutcraft a bit. So who started it? I'm thinking it was you, but who started it? What was the idea and how it works? And like tell me more about Scoutcraft for the people that are watching and me.
So it's interesting actually. It's really interesting the way that Scoutcraft came to be. So many small things could have been different, and it never would have happened. So it originally was not actually. Supposed to be a YouTuber only server. So when so to give you a little bit of a history, this guy created the server, and there were a bunch of people, there were a bunch of young people on there who were like, yeah, I'm gonna be a YouTuber, I'm gonna record all this kind of stuff, and then they just didn't.
Mm,
And so it basically ended up with Saf, who you'll know from Scoutcraft. He was actually the one who invited me into the server, and I got there. And as far as I could see, it was only me and Saf who were actually going to be committed YouTubers who were going to produce high quality content. And so one by one, the rest of the guys lost interest and they dropped out. These people who because they weren't, they didn't have the right mindset. They didn't have the same vision or the same end goal for it as myself and Saf. And so I saw this happening a little bit before it actually happened, and I thought, this is gonna fizzle away and burn out if we don't do something now. So I got in touch with Dutronator, I
mm,
got in touch with Vloop, I got in touch with Newmark, and I got in touch with Jumbo Wolf. And I invited all four of them into the server because they were. I knew I know Dutronator. I've known Dutronator for about 11 years or so, so I've known him for a very long time.
okay.
So I was really keen to get him involved. But Newmark and Vloop are two YouTubers that I have really like basically for the most part been there on my in and around my series from day one of my this YouTube channel. I somehow crossed paths with them. I couldn't really tell you exactly how it happened, but we were talking. We always planned to do collabs. We'd comment on each other's videos and stuff like that. So I wanted to get them involved, and then I also came across Jumbo Wolf, and I was like, this guy's a perfect fit. So we got him involved, and so that's basically how we now have these 6 YouTubers, and we've also got System, who's going to be starting up. System was there from the very start. He's a great guy. He hasn't yet started his YouTube channel, but he does plan on doing that soon. So it's a very convoluted process of how we actually got to Scoutcraft, but effectively it was never intended to be what it was, but we've basically twisted and manipulated this vision of what it's going to be. And one of the things I think that is so good about Scoutcraft and that I really enjoy about it is not only are the guys in there specifically only people who are producing high quality content. If you look at someone like Vloop, you look at like Newmark's builds, Vloop's time lapses. You look at what they're actually creating. It's really high quality for the size of their channels and the amount of people in there. And I think that again with what I was saying to you earlier about getting people in who don't have the opportunity and the exposure. We were all small when we started, and we all are still small. But what differentiates us from a lot of these other SMP servers is that we're all very like-minded guys. We all have a very similar vision. We all want to do this full time at some point in the future, and we're all willing to put in the time and effort to make that work. So rather than just kind of coming on and playing, we actually have like a monthly meeting where we sit down and we say, right, what are we going to do with Scoutcraft? Is there a narrative we're going to go for? Is there a big collaboration we're all going to do? And how are we going to continue to develop and grow the thing? So we have some very big news coming up soon, that's going to be really epic. That obviously I can't divulge or get into soon, but that's kind of a little bit of a history of Scoutcraft. But it's just crazy how it's actually come to be what it is now. It was kind of just a happy accident, if you will.
That's great. That I love that story because usually the best things come from nothing, and that was literally going to be just a fun server for a couple younger YouTubers to try to make some content. And like as actually, I joined a server 2 weeks ago, and because Scoutcraft was already in its season, and I
Yeah,
said,
sure.
I want something to be able to collab with people, and I think that would be great for the channel. And like it was the exact same situation. I was like, okay, I can't do that. Like, and I was really busy too, but I just genuinely couldn't. And it's just really refreshing to see people that had the same like kind of mindset as like me and other creators that like genuinely want it. They want it to be full time. They want this to be their job. They want to be able to bring content to all audiences, and the way that you guys do it, and also the monthly meeting thing is a great point. I think collaboration on a server is done like very sporadically, and if you can do a monthly meeting on what like big collaborations, you can really build that
Mm.
storyline, which is what really lasts in the community.
Absolutely, and I mean, like some people are a little bit kind of confused with what we want to go for and who we're going to be, choosing for the next season of Scoutcraft, and ultimately, whilst we're going to be picking people with good quality content who are committed and passionate about their work. Ultimately, the most important thing for us, the absolutely fundamentally most important thing, is how well do you fit the team? Because that's ultimately what we are. We are all we're all mature guys. We all we respect one another. We all help one another out. Like there's a real kind of collaboration group effort amongst us in terms of just if someone's stuck, like for example, I got trapped in a wall and I was suffocating, and I was like, someone come help. And before you know it, two of them have turned up and they're getting me out the wall. Now unfortunately I wasn't recording that, but it's just that's really what I think is going to help us stand the test of time and continue to grow. Is I've seen a lot of these little SMP servers that are very loosely run with no rules or guidelines or vision. That's the most important thing. There's not really a vision or a plan or a strategy, and nobody's really aligned on it. And so it pops up and then it kind of fizzles out and it dies and it disappears. But
Mm,
we have got we've got really big plans coming, and we're all totally aligned in it. We're totally, oh, look at the moonrise.
I know, it's
And we're all
great.
totally passionate about it. And what do we want to do is we want to find more YouTubers like that. And it's really important to note actually as well, is that regardless, this is something that I really am keen to maintain, and so are the other guys. We do not care in the slightest how many subscribers you have on your channel if you're applying to Scoutcraft. What we care about is the quality of your videos, the consistency of them, and good how good a fit are you. Like you, for example, someone that came along and they had been producing a video every single week for the last year, and they were really developing the quality, and they had a great personality. Even if they had 5 subscribers, we would let them into Scoutcraft without any question.
Exactly.
That's the vision that we're going for.
Well, that's the only way to do it. I mean, you have people like Ilmango that streams almost every day with technical stuff like that with Minecraft. And you have Mumbo who works at it every single day. But then you have people on the server that on Hermitcraft that don't really like. They even Python. Python was on it for a bit, and he wasn't playing it much because he just didn't like. He loves them. Everyone loves him. He just didn't fit in as well because it wasn't working for him because what he was looking and his vision didn't match. And like a lot of people won't see that, but the fact that you guys already see that at such a
Mm.
growing exponentially but small level is incredible. That is 100% recipe for success. Like being able to, it doesn't matter how big or small someone is. It's about the quality of the content, the consistency, and how they fit in. That's the three things. If I ran an SMP or a craft server, that would be my number one, two, and three for asking and interviewing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's ultimately the end goal, right? The end goal is the same. It's like there's two different methods of doing this, right? If you want to grow and you want to grow your channel, you want to grow Scoutcraft in general or any other SMP, you could do it where you just grab you grab a YouTuber who's got 3 videos but they've got 3 million subscribers or whatever, and you could just try and pump them full of views and subscribers. But ultimately it's not going to have longevity, because this is what we're talking about Minecraft and the mechanics of the Minecraft game and why it survived, because it's the quality and the core vision and purpose of the game that makes it survive, rather than just, oh, it's this brand new big title headline game that lasts for 3 months and then fizzles out and goes away. It's
Yep.
we're looking for longevity with this, and I think we really do have a recipe for it. And the guys in here are like, they are absolutely how they come across in their videos. They're just as decent and sound and funny as they come across in their videos, and that's what's important.
Well, I've spent hours talking to Vloop now, and like we're gonna start a server just to play by ourselves, just because we enjoy our company. So I completely agree with you. Like they're the exact on camera as off. It's how it is. And one thing I would like to note for the audience as well is that like I did some research on Hermitcraft, and Hermitcraft started with Rendog and those kind of people. They all had hundreds of subscribers. Like they didn't have
Really?
these. Yeah, they, no word of a lie. They started uploading together, and they added people on over time, and they didn't grow for a year and a half. up to like 2,000, 3,000 subs, and then they start to like grow a bit, and then they got Mumbo on, and everyone start to snowball. But
Yeah, yeah.
Hermitcraft now, don't quote me, but I did a little bit of research, and whether it's true or not, Hermitcraft did start under 1,000 subscribers for each person. Like
Really?
it blows
Wow.
my mind. So like the potential is, it's been done. Why can't you do it, kind of thing, you know? So it's just the
Absolutely.
consistency, and you know what? Like doing something first is really hard to do, but like also like if you look at Hermitcraft, you're like, oh, that was a good recipe for success. Let's use their recipe for success in our way and change it and do it our thing. Like it's foolproof. You just have to have consistency and the lung capacity to keep going.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think for anyone listening who's a content creator on YouTube, I think the same what we're talking about here. Also, you can extrapolate that and apply the same mindset to your own YouTube channel.
Hmm.
If you really focus on the quality and you're really committed and you truly do have the right personality to make it work, then, in my opinion, and I've actually said this from day one of my YouTube channel, so long as I continue with a commitment and I continue with a consistency and I continue making the videos, it's a statistical kind of analysis. It's not really a matter of if the channel is going to grow. It's more a matter of when and how much the channel is going to grow. So you've just got, but so many people get discouraged. So many people just get discouraged. They don't see the results. They stagnate and then they give up. You've got to find a niche. You got to keep going. You got to find an opportunity and just keep pushing through it until you get to that point. And now I'm talking. This is like so weird. I'm talking like I'm a successful YouTuber. I've still only got 800 subscribers, so I am
You have the
very
exponential growth though, so there is a place to talk. I completely think
yeah.
you're valid in your points.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's the thing is like it's basically the thing. What I'm kind of applying to these servers here is marketing, right? It's basically my knowledge of marketing and how you differentiate. And for example, if you're doing something that's incredibly niche, now you see people who have this instant YouTube success and they gain millions. It's because they've found something that is incredibly niche and specific that nobody else is doing. But that's not going to be the case for the majority of people, particularly if you're doing something like Minecraft gaming. It's incredibly saturated. So the only way through is to be producing the best quality, the what's the best value to the watcher.
Mm,
And unless you're providing that value, then why would somebody watch a video in 420 resolution at 12 frames a second when they can watch Mumbo? Like
exactly.
that's exactly kind of what it is. So it's you've got to unfortunately, but this is my point coming back to you, iBlue, is that I saw what you're doing with this Minecraft podcast, and I was like, wow, that's actually like that really took me back a second, and I was like, wow, that's actually legitimately incredibly unique and cool, and that's why I was so keen to jump on it. Like I messaged you straight after I'd watched it, and I was like, can I come on?
Yeah, yeah. But you have no idea how, like, when you think of that thing, it's just like, and you see it come into fruition. It blows my mind because I've always wanted that thing because the one thing I learned over time is that people usually grow if they're in a community that's already grown. They're in a niche, as you said, that just blows them up. They grind for years and then they get lucky, or they have something that's different in the community. Now,
Yeah,
Scoutcraft is
yeah.
different. I think I know that's going to grow. And like for Vloop, his certain things he do it does it different. Everybody does things different, and that's what brings the
Mm.
personality. I looked at it as, it was genuinely just me looking for podcasts. So I just got really lucky in that. That is luck for that to pop in my head. But like I said on the other podcast, it stems from me watching podcasts and then watching formerly known as Optic Hex, but Hector Rodriguez. He's the owner of the Huntsman, which is a Call of Duty team, which stems back to
Right. Okay.
me starting to play Call of Duty and then competitive Call of Duty, playing amateur pro, and then getting to know like
Oh
who
wow.
they were. And then like it stems to like he has the Eavesdrop podcast, which is he gets all Call of Duty pros and Call of Duty people in the scene because no one knows about them or no one would know much information about them, and then they spill their guts and I'm like, wow, okay, that person is really cool. I thought they sucked. So like you get to know the people better. And I was just like, why can't I watch a video, an hour video of Korean talking about his life outside of Minecraft, because I don't know anything. So, and that's where it stems. It's like I genuinely do believe, and I don't say this often, but like I genuinely do believe it's something that will work. I think it will work, and I'm really, really
I think
glad
so
that
too.
people are already coming to me. Like I've had 3 people I know. Um, Jumble Wolf is gonna come on the podcast, and Saf is gonna come
Okay.
on the podcast. So I have
Nice.
pretty much
Yes.
everybody from the Scoutcraft, which was my goal in the beginning.
Yes.
So which is great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But doing
People
stuff
will pull
different
up.
and different niches and doing things different, I wanted to ask you, um, why? So a lot of people choose Twitch to stream, and a lot of people are starting to choose Mixer just because it's Mixer. I personally believe YouTube's going to win in the streaming platform industry. Why do you stream on YouTube? Because it has been going well, but I'm just wondering why you stream
Yeah, it's a
on
good
YouTube.
question. So I guess if we're using this as an opportunity to kind of explore me a little bit more as well. So basically, I set out 4 goals for this year. I don't like saying New Year's resolution because they're so cliche and no one ever does them or whatever. But last December, I set out 4 goals, and I won't go into detail on the other two.
Mm.
But I guess because this is specifically YouTube related. Now, two of those goals were to have 1,000 followers on Twitch and 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, chance would have it. Well, actually, I guess it's not chance. I've been grinding away, but it does look like I'm on track for the end of this year to pass 1,000 subscribers, which is
Which
pretty
is
amazing.
great. Congratulations, by the way,
Yeah,
already with your
yeah,
recent success. But carry on.
yeah, thanks so much. But I was also a flip side of that coin was I had a strict schedule where I was also streaming on Twitch and solely Twitch every single Wednesday and every single Sunday. So one of the things that I noticed was that I was starting to kind of develop a little bit of a disjointed community where I was developing a community over on Twitch, and I was developing so I was playing World of Tanks over on Twitch, and I was playing Minecraft over on my YouTube channel, and so both of those each filter into the Discord section. Now, those communities weren't going from one another, and also one thing that I realized was it seemed to be much more difficult to grow and get noticed on Twitch because I couldn't nail the search engine optimization like I can on
Completely
YouTube.
understand.
Yeah, and so basically I started to realize I was like I did one YouTube stream and I gained a couple of subscribers off of a YouTube stream, and then I realized, hold on a second here, I need to focus my energy. Either I was trying to do too many things at once, and I realized that I what would end up happening as I would kind of have a moderately successful Twitch channel and a moderately successful YouTube channel. Why not focus all of my energy into one to really develop a community on my YouTube channel, and then if I wanted to somewhere down the line, then I could then take that community back over to Twitch. But when you start at the beginning, that I think you're just basically you need to really direct and focus your energy on one thing. Do one thing perfectly, and then or as best you possibly can, and then once you've nailed that, then attack the next. So that's kind of like the mindset I go for. But what do you think?
So my theory stems from Alpha. I think Alpha Gaming is someone that said it. He's a streamer slash YouTuber. He streams on Twitch, but the reason he streams on Twitch is because he's been doing it for 10 years. But he said one quote, and I think it was him, but he said one thing. He said, when you're streaming on Twitch, you're not growing anywhere else. Like you're streaming, like to stream on Twitch is to stream for your audience. You're not growing anywhere
Yeah,
else. So like
yeah,
spending 5 hours on Twitch and then spending 20 hours on your YouTube, or 20 or 19 hours on your YouTube and your TikTok and your Twitter and everything is 10 times better than spending 24 hours on Twitch. So because
yeah,
it's really
yeah.
difficult to grow on Twitch, they don't have the algorithm. They're just implementing it on mobile now, where it's like a recommended stream, which I think it's only demographic recommendations, which I don't think is correct and good at all, because people in LA will
Right.
get much bigger really much faster than someone where I am with a population of 500,000 people in the entire province. So
Wow.
like
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think the way that Twitch is doing it, yeah, sure, it's really benefiting the first 10 people in each category, but it's a very, very poorly optimized algorithm, and I seen YouTube pick up Courage JD, Valkyrae, people that were pretty big on Twitch, and I think they're going to pick up some more this year in 2020. And I genuinely do think they're going to win the race just because the algorithm really helps it. I don't think they have a really great live streaming platform right now because it's really difficult to find and browse people.
Yeah,
Once they nail
yeah,
that
yeah.
down, like Fwiz is the head of gaming. He stems from Call of Duty, and that's how I know him. I don't know him, but I know of him.
Right,
And
sure.
he's the head of virtual reality and gaming and live streaming on YouTube. I'm pretty sure at YouTube. And
Right,
once
okay.
they get that down and he has that algorithm down for live streaming, they'll win. Like I think Twitch has a great backbone. They're not going anywhere, but I think YouTube's going to win. I think when I seen you streaming on YouTube, I said that is 100% for a small creator the best decision you could have made.
Yeah, I mean I agree. I'll be honest, I don't know as much. You seem to sound like you know what you're talking about. So I don't want to speak with much conviction because I don't really know too much about the like you say the streaming war or whatever. But what I will say is this, just from a logical user experience perspective, if you have everything nailed on one platform, then it is so much easier than having to dart around all these different platforms. Other than actually previously running my own Twitch account, I never really watched any Twitch live streams or anything like that. I didn't really know what Twitch was. And this is what I will say is that YouTube on the whole is the bigger service and has more footfall. So if they can nail their live streaming, which I will say I have noticed they have actually included some additional features and they're slowly updating it and slowly trying to gain ground there. If they nail it, I think you could be right. But regardless of who's going to win the stream war, if you're wanting to be a YouTuber, then you need to be streaming on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Fundamentally speaking, that is, I think that's really really important because that is where you need to focus your energy to grow there. I think if you're trying to be a YouTuber and a Twitch streamer on different services, then you're splitting your energy, so you're not doing either as well as you could be if you focused on one.
Well, exactly. And if you wanted to become a content creator for Twitch, you could be streaming and take your highlights, get an editor, or edit it yourself, and just throw it on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and see if it blows. But that doesn't, it's not a recipe for success right now. Maybe it will be, but right now it's a great recipe. I just don't think it's the most efficient way to success. And I don't think it's going to give you longevity because the videos pop, you get 10, 15, 30,000 people watching, but if 10% are converted, great, but those 10% aren't even coming from a good place of, oh, I know your personality. So it's kind of it's an iffy situation, but I'm glad that you're streaming on YouTube. So you stream on YouTube. Why? So you stream on YouTube now. I thought you only streamed Minecraft, but when I came in yesterday, I think it was yesterday, day before, whatever. You were streaming something else. Now I don't even know the name of the game. I
Yeah.
just came to say hi, but you weren't streaming Minecraft. So what's up with that? You play other games? You do other things?
Yeah, I do. I do. I have well, I actually so just to give you a little bit of background on that game specifically, I was streaming Total Tank Simulator for the very first time, and actually that was a really really good stream. I got up to 34 viewers,
Whoa.
like who were watching at one time, and the chat was absolutely popping. It was really really cool, really really encouraging. Now the reason why I've been doing that is that's a brand new game. Now I know a lot of kind of history and I know a lot about tanks, and so I can speak with a relative degree of enthusiasm, but also kind of the knowledge base to speak with conviction about that subject. So I think the content that I produce on that is actually somewhat appealing, and I'm doing some unique stuff on that. So I've been growing a lot on Total Tank Simulator, which is why I wanted to do a stream on it, and I will do more of that. But what I want to do is I don't want to be only a Minecraft YouTuber. I don't
Okay.
want to box myself into that corner. I love Minecraft. I love everything about Minecraft, but I'm constantly, to be honest with you, man, is I'm constantly trying to learn and grow and develop and figure out what works and what doesn't. And the way that I think about it is that what I do is I've got this second series. I've got Minecraft, and then so basically I've got Scoutcraft, and then I've got Game of the Week, right?
Okay.
Which Game of the Week over the last couple of weeks has turned into Total Tank Simulator. But previously, what it was is I would cover a brand new game that had just come out on Steam, and it would come out, and I would record it that same day, edit it, do a thumbnail, do the search engine optimization, and release it, and try and be the first person to release it. And the benefit that that has is that you get mass exposure on something that the bigger YouTubers normally can't do quickly. So I was trying to get the exposure quickly before they could cover it, because obviously they send it off to an editor who can't do it as quickly, all this kind of stuff. So that was kind of the recipe that I was going for with that. But ultimately, what I want to be trying to move towards is a 50-50 divide between kind of Minecraft content. So 50% Scoutcraft, 50% other. But currently it's 50% Scoutcraft and 50% Total Tank Simulator is kind of what it looks like at the minute.
Hey, listen, that like if you want to be a variety YouTuber, variety content creator, that is the one thing I was gonna say. There's two ways that I look at myself to be able to do it. Is that if I stream, and when I stream, I'm playing something different. And when I post on YouTube, it's Minecraft, or you have two series going. Because if you have someone that's a diehard Scoutcraft fan, they're not gonna hate you for posting a video about. They might not watch it, but they're not gonna care if you're posting a video about another game. If anything, one day they will watch it, and then they'll watch it for your personality, not the game, and they'll get them even closer to you. So I think, yeah, that you got a recipe for success there again as well.
That's kind of what I'm going for. And so it's kind of it's tricky because sometimes I have people commenting on my tank videos like, where's Scoutcraft, and sometimes I have people commenting on my Scoutcraft videos about the different tank videos. But one thing that I have noticed, particularly in my personal Discord, is that some of the like you were talking about, there's a couple of names that stand out in particular in my Scoutcraft Discord. Some of the regulars in there who originally came in there. Sorry, in my personal Discord, not the Scoutcraft one, who came in there because of Minecraft, and then have actually like I've grown closer to them. I've got to know them a bit. They're really good community members, and now they're watching other videos as well.
Exactly.
And so that's what I'm kind of hoping to move towards, is that so that I can have people who are enjoying my Minecraft videos, but because of my personality, they're also enjoying, if that's what they're there for, then they're also enjoying my other videos. But that being said, if people want to just watch just my Minecraft ones, fine, that's not a problem. I don't have a problem with that. Like you like ultimately I'm grateful and thankful for every single member. Oh, I just accidentally jumped. I just got too excited. I'm grateful to everyone who's in there, and ultimately I'm going to produce the content, and I'm going to try and make it for everyone, but not everyone's going to enjoy everything, so you just got to do the best you can.
Exactly. And the way I completely agree with you there. Is the way that I enjoy YouTube. Like today, honestly, didn't upload. I was sitting there and I played some Hunger Games. I edited and wanted to upload a Hunger Games kind of thing, playing on Minecraft. Like, well, I didn't get any wins and I wasn't happy with it. My build, like, I'm kind of stuck right now because I'm in between doing the lake and not doing the lake. And then there's just so much on my mind about Minecraft and what I want to do. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to record. I don't want to do something by myself. The podcast is coming up in a couple hours. We're going to film it or whatever. I'm going to play my own hardcore server because that's what I've wanted to do for weeks. And I sat down for 3 hours and played hardcore Minecraft, and I feel better than I did 3 hours ago. So you just really need to do what you want when you want and make it as happy and as real as possible. And that's how the way that I've seen people that genuinely grow a good, wholesome, like, following fan base like Shroud has, from his Twitch to Mixer move and everything. Like, it's been really successful. Like, the way that you build is the way that you're doing it. Like, you have people that are being converted from strictly Minecraft or strictly whatever to genuinely wanting to watch you daily because it gives them a sense of happiness. And that's the way that anybody in the same shoes as you, you're gonna have the success that you will. So I think what you're doing is great. So you have this, like, logical mind. You have this channel that is kind of popping right now. You have Scoutcraft. You have your variety gaming. You're streaming. You're working full time. You're really, really busy. But, like, where do you see yourself in 4 or 5 years?
In 4 or 5 years, it's a very good question. I must admit, I am a serial over planner. I honestly, like, if I okay, so what, I'll explain this to you. I'm looking at my screen right now. I'm looking, of course, at you. I'm looking at the cat. I'm looking outside, the horrible rain. But if I look above my screen right here, is a bunch of post-it notes. Now, I'm an industrial designer by trade, but I'm currently actually in a product design job. And basically, what that means is I'm one of those annoying, edgy guys who uses post-it notes everywhere. And there's nothing edgy about me in the slightest, but I'm very, very OCD and I'm very structured, and nothing I do is by coincidence, particularly when it comes to YouTube. So I've actually got 5 phases I'm going through. The first phase, when I first started my channel, is so this is kind of like my plan. Basically, this is, I guess you could call this my 4 or 5 year plan. So
Sure.
phase one was the initial kind of setup, was figuring out what I wanted to do, figure out what I do the channel, get the initial artwork, get the initial kind of quality, the software, all that kind of stuff set up. Basically, just the initial setup, and that was planned to take me up to 250 subscribers. Now, phase two, the second phase is planned to take me up to 1,000 subscribers, and that was all about kind of upgrading my equipment and trying to get myself to the point. So upgrading the quality of my content and the quality of my equipment,
Okay.
so that it could facilitate me to do a better job of my videos with my content, make it easier, make it faster, make it higher quality, all this kind of stuff. So things like a new computer, which I've finally just got my CPU for. I've been waiting for weeks. It just
Nice.
didn't arrive. So I'm
Awesome.
finally going to be able to build that. And then so this, and that was obviously kind of also developing a little bit of like a schedule and discipline in terms of how frequently I'm going to upload. I used to have a more committed schedule in terms of I did Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday uploads. But at the minute, I'm just doing as much as I possibly can, which is actually probably every other day, if not more. And so past that is phase three, which is supposed to take me up to 5,000 subscribers. So technically, I'm still in phase two. I'm still trying to get the equipment. I need a new mic. I need a green screen behind me. I need to build my computer. There's a whole bunch of things, better lighting, and a better, like if you saw my camera setup at the minute, I've got a webcam that's resting on a bin with an old person's lamp next to it to illuminate my face. It is abysmal. But yeah, so moving on to the next phase is phase three, is the infrastructure and exposure, like expanding that. How do I kind of push that out to as many people as possible? Once I've nailed the quality, then how do I get out to people? And then real quick, like phase four is where I want to start, in a couple of years' time, hopefully, when I'm getting up to 10,000 subscribers. That's kind of like, well, if I get there. I think if I put the work in, I think it's a possibility. I know
I
it
do
sounds
believe, yes.
egocentric, but
No, I believe
um,
it.
but then that's kind of when I want to start monetizing around that point, in the hope that I could potentially, make this into a living and make a job out of it and do it full time. What I don't want to do is I don't want to monetize. Even when I get partner, when I hit 1,000, I don't want to monetize. I don't want to do merch. I don't want to do any of that until I can make it a full-time job, because I think it really puts people off. And ultimately, I'm doing this because I'm passionate about it. It's not a cash grab. I've got some friends who have got a channel and they've got 35 subscribers and they're trying to push merch on people. And I'm like,
Exactly.
what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop,
Yeah.
stop. And then phase five finally is full time. And then ultimately, the end of the line is I kind of want to go, I want to ultimately make some sort of like a little small media business, if you will, out of it. Um, and and then effectively, YouTube's not going to be around forever. I want to then invest that money into trying to build a gym. So, like I said, I overplan
You
a
have your
lot.
plan,
I'm
man.
quite.
That is incredible.
Oh no, it sounds ridiculous, but it sounds ridiculous. But people were laughing at me when I started this YouTube channel, and they were like, "Oh, is this funny?" Like they were mocking it and stuff like that. 820 subscribers later, I'm like, you know, it's actually possible. Like,
It is actually possible, and you're literally a testament to that. Like you have done your due diligence of thinking and logically working through your process. And the one thing I like about you and some of the other guys I've talked to that are small YouTubers, especially on the Scoutcraft, we like, most of us have the like mind of enjoying the process. Like we don't want to
yeah,
monetize right now.
absolutely.
We don't, like, I thought about getting a Patreon. I set it up and everything, and I couldn't do it. I was just like, no, there's no way that I'm every video gonna be like, oh, go check my Patreon down below and don't forget to get the
Yeah,
merch. And like, when I'm realistically, I'm just trying to get people that like me first. I'm trying to,
yeah,
and you have the
absolutely.
same mind as me, and I really do like that, and appreciate that I have someone that I can message at any time and be like, hey, I do have
Oh, of
this problem
course,
and you've been through it. So it's like, I don't know, it's really
absolutely.
nice. And you having a plan that is like, most people do have, some sort of a plan, and people that work out their plans usually have these big worked out plans because they don't execute. But you have this big worked out
Yeah.
plan
Yeah.
that you're executing, and that is going to
Yeah.
be wildly successful, 100%. Whether you
Yeah.
think it is or not, I genuinely believe it is, and I'll be there
Well, I
when it is.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's it's really hard work, but like you say, to come back to the point. Oh, it's a lovely new sunrise.
Yes,
Or will it soon be soon?
we've been here
But to
for
come
so
back to your
long.
point,
Yeah.
yeah, well, I'm enjoying it. I'm in no rush. I'm
No,
having a good
it's
time.
a great time.
Um, but to come back to your point, like this is about the community and not like just trying to cash in. Like I'm only going to try and cash in when I can, when when I have to make a full-time job out of this in a
Mm.
couple of years time, maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 years time, something like that. But that's a really, is that sun bigger than normal? Is that just me?
I don't
That's
know.
like,
It looks
it
really
looks pretty
good.
massive.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
going again sidetracked. But here's the thing: there's a lot of people like they message me and they're like sub for sub. I'm like no, I just don't want any dead subscribers. I don't want any dead subs. I would trade 10,000 dead subscribers for 100 active community members. I want the
Completely agree.
engagement. I
Mm.
want the community. And that's the most important thing to me. Is I love when I see someone in particular join my Discord server and they start messaging and I'm like yes, we've got another active community member. I'm like, that's the most, like, a subscriber is one thing, but someone going that far is just like, it's honestly like, it's so encouraging to see, and I
Yes.
really enjoy it.
When someone joins my Discord server and goes to the question channel and asks me a question for the comment question of the day that I usually do for my Let's Play series, dude, when I see those questions, I'm like, there's someone that is sitting at their computer that went to my Discord channel and asked me a specific question to be able to be featured on
Yeah.
my video. Like, what? I have 43 subscribers. What do you? I don't understand it, but it's just mind boggling. Like, and I can't imagine once you get to a level that like there's people literally like they're living because of
Yeah.
your influence. So it's just there's so much
Yeah, of
that
course.
I'm already like proud of, that I'm so happy that I'm finding other people that are proud of the same thing, and I have like a little community that I can
Absolutely.
talk to. It's great. I
Yeah,
appreciate every one of
100%.
you. You guys are great.
And this is something that I'm really, yeah, absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. But this is something that I'm also like really keen to kind of help facilitate. Is that, there'll be quite a few quite a few people have got in touch with me now. I obviously, I'm really busy and I can't always get back in touch straight away. But for example, people like someone like Lanaret MC. So, for example, people like Lanaret MC is a small YouTuber who just got in touch and was like, "Hey, man, I've got this problem. I like your stuff. I've got this problem. Like, can you just give me some advice on this?" And it's honest. It's not like fishing for anything. It's just genuinely small YouTubers helping themselves out. I am always so game for that, particularly when someone's clearly got the same passion and the same vision as me.
Well,
I'm
exactly.
absolutely, and this is what I was saying about you, is like I love what you're doing with this, and I absolutely want to shine. I've got a very small corner, a very small corner of YouTube, and a very small light to cast. But I want people to come here and see your amazing studio. Which, by the way, folks, if you're watching, it's nice on the inside. On the outside, it's horrible.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say it's amazing to the viewer.
Yeah, exactly. Up there somewhere, they'll be up there. But it's difficult. It's really difficult, and one of the things that's been really beneficial for me in particular with my YouTube channel, and in terms of improving the quality, constantly, I'm very self-critical. I'm constantly trying to improve things. I'm never satisfied with what I'm doing. I'm trying to find new ways of doing it. Is because of my, my design background, my design profession, if you will, is I have that attention to detail and the eye for detail that I think, and that's not. I hope that doesn't come across as a boastful thing at all, but
Oh my
it
goodness,
it,
no.
it's just like it's something that I'm really passionate about like picking up on the small details. And every single video, look at it and you got to think, what could I have done better, and what am I going to do differently next time? And if I look back at my first videos, and I'm sure you're the exact same with your first videos, if you look back at the first ones, if your videos are exactly the same as your first ones, you've done something wrong.
Exactly.
You've got to constantly be improving, and my thumbnails are constantly developing. My as you can tell, I've got a big mouth, so I've always been able to talk. But focusing and talking about the right stuff is really important, rather than just kind of rambling, which is a real problem that I had at the start. And also putting in loads of ums and buts and ahs. And there's always something you can do to make it slightly better. And if you make one small change every couple of videos, imagine where you'll be in a year's time.
Well, exactly. I already have a completely different set of videos than I used to. You know, like everything is different, and even my cadence, the way I speak, the way, and it's the same for everybody that starts from nothing. They, you have to build it. You have to build from nothing, and you'll eventually get to a point where you might never feel comfortable with watching your own videos, but it's gonna come to a point that people genuinely like watching your videos because you're funny or you're creative or whatever. I come from an engineering background. I'm mechanical engineering, and
Okay.
that's what I'm studying currently, and like I noticed that already, like with problem solving and innovation with Minecraft alone is just like I have that same kind of mindset as you have
Yeah.
that eye for design and stuff. Like I have that kind of same eye for problem solving, innovation, stuff like that. Like it's nice to bring something, you have something, bringing it to the table and it being successful. So it's really nice. But I do
Yeah, of
want to say
course.
it has been literally an hour. And
Really?
I
Wow, that
think
went by so fast.
I think it's time for the final question.
Okay, go on. That must be, is it a big one? Is it a big one?
What is next for Plastic Scot? What are your plans for the
Oh.
future without your 5-year plan and stuff? What are you doing in the next few weeks? What's new? What's something that's gonna pop that you want to reveal to your audience?
I- in terms of YouTube, or in
Anything,
terms of kind of just
anything,
like my life,
YouTube,
or
anything. What's next for Plastic Scot is the question I want to ask.
what's next for Plastic Scot? Well, hopefully the gym's going to be reopening soon.
Yes, I agree with that.
That's one thing. Oh man, that's been tough. Like it's
Ah,
been a very, very big part of my life, and to have like in terms of like an outlet and release of energy and stuff like that. Like I was supposed to have my first weightlifting competition in April,
oh
and
wow,
that's
okay.
just been totally stripped away from me. And now I've like totally regressed. And I'm like, no. So the gym's gonna be reopening. I'm hopefully going to be running a marathon within the next kind of 6 months.
Nice.
What's next? So for me, like I have three areas of my life. So I've gone into detail about my plan about YouTube. There's three areas of my life that I really kind of break it down into, and it's my professional, my career, my product design, my industrial design kind of career. And then I've got my kind of my health and fitness, which is my weightlifting and my running and stuff like that. And then I've got my YouTube as well. So
Mm.
just to give people more of an idea of kind of what I kind of aspire to do and to be, and so each of those kind of is progressing at their own rate, but at the minute I'm really bogged down with work, but I'm enjoying it. But in terms of YouTube, what's next? I mean, that's a big, I don't know. I'm just going to constantly be trying to make small improvements. I mean, there's a very big thing upcoming for Scoutcraft, but is very confidential between myself and some
Oh,
of the other
absolutely, yeah.
Scoutcrafters. So I can't divulge that. But guys, I've got to say, if you're listening, keep your eyes peeled because this is going to be good fun. It's going to be crazy. I'm really, really, really looking
Oh
forward
yeah,
to it.
you
So
you
if
heard it
anything,
here.
contact
Big things for
us. Yeah,
Scoutcraft coming.
yeah, you heard
Plastic
it here
Scott,
first.
thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. I genuinely appreciate it more than you would ever imagine. And even putting Vloop's, mine and Vloop's podcast up on your Discord channel for Scoutcraft was an absolute blessing. I appreciate it to all,
Yeah, of
and I
course.
want to have you on here again, man.
Oh man, I'll be back. I'll be back. It's far and few between you find someone who's as easy to kind of talk to as you. And I spotted that on Vloop's podcast. And just a final shout out, guys, if you're watching this and you haven't already subscribed to iBlue, this guy's producing quality content, and he's really clearly passionate. He's in fact basically just a Canadian version of me. So so if you're enjoying what I'm doing, then absolutely go subscribe to iBlue. And particularly, guys, I know the camera's up here somewhere. If you're watching Scoutcraft and you want to know more about Scoutcraft, you want to hear more about Scoutcraft in detail that you won't see in the videos, you probably won't see on live streams because it's a different format with the chat and all that kind of stuff, then iBlue's going to be having Saf on, he's going to be having Jumble on, and I'm sure he'll be having the other Scouts on as well. And I hope I am going to, well, I will be back. I hope you don't
Oh,
mind.
I absolutely. I'm sure the viewers are gonna want you back.
Of course. I've really enjoyed this, man. And once again, I just want to say thanks to you for having me on, and what you're doing. Everything that I said earlier about the kind of the consistency and the commitment with this, I really believe that this is going to go somewhere, this podcast, if you keep this up. So props to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. So, guys, I do appreciate it, man. Like you genuinely, you hit my heart there. I appreciate it so much. I wanted to say one last thank you to Plastic Scot for coming on, guys. I guess we'll see you in the next MineCast, and hopefully we'll be doing a collab at some point. Me and you,
Of
maybe
course,
even
I think we're going to have to.
the guys from from Scoutcraft. That'd be cool. We'll do a little Hunger
That'd
Games
be
collab or
absolutely
something.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, guys, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, go subscribe to Scoutcraft. Sorry for the dogs in the background if you can't hear it, but it seems like there's someone outside my door, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. I don't really care about the door. Appreciate it so much. Go check out Plastic Scot, Vloop, Dutrinator, and all the guys that are over at their station over there at Scoutcraft. So, guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Go over to Plastic Scot's YouTube channel, hit that subscribe, join his live streams. His live streams are actually lit, I'm just gonna say. And either way, this has been it for iBlue and Plastic Scot in the MineCast episode 3. Thank you guys so much.
See ya.
See ya.